Good morning and welcome back to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host Jeremy Murphy, and today I want to talk a little bit more about what we've been talking about recently, which is the damage that these groups do to Morgellons patients' emotional state. And why I'm on here creating online courses for free for people to take so that they can learn the truth about Morgellons and avoid these dangerous online environments. So the first thing you're probably thinking is, Jeremy, why are you speaking out against the Morgellons groups? It's a place for people to go to feel safe and to express their experiences with Morgellons. The problem with that scenario is that it doesn't paint the real picture of what goes on in groups, which is people are encouraged to avoid seeing a doctor. Groups for Morgellons patients are what they are looking for. They are looking for a social environment of people who believe they have the same thing, where they aren't going to be told that it's not real. They're not going to be told it's all in their head. They can be around people who accept them for what they are going through. The problem with that is that a lot of people who think they have Morgellons are led to believe so from the misinformation they're exposed to in these online groups. Another problem is that people have more than just one health condition besides Morgellons. You remember Tasha Lee? Tasha Lee was a Morgellons advocate. She was out there speaking about the condition. She was showing everybody what she was doing, and she was driven to make a difference in this community. But it wasn't Morgellons that took Tasha Lee's life at a very young age. Morgellons did not end the life of Tasha Lee. That was diabetes. Tasha Lee ended up being on a fruits-only diet. As far as I know, she wasn't even eating vegetables. If I'm wrong, please let me know about that. No disrespect to her family, but this is exactly what happened. It was diabetes, not Morgellons, that took Tasha Lee's life. And part of that, unfortunately, was because she herself, because of her experience with Morgellons, developed a mistrust for the medical community. Patients are going to have more going on with them, with their health, than just Morgellons. And in these online groups, you can end up believing anything about Morgellons if you trust the people in there that are telling you things about it. And that's unfortunate because that's not where medical information needs to be originating from. The reason people have shitty experiences with doctors because of Morgellons is because the doctors are not trained. That's it. The doctors lack the appropriate training to address this medical condition. That's why I founded a nonprofit, so we can develop those educational tools to give to doctors so that patients with Morgellons do not get misdiagnosed as delusional. Because doctors don't want to do it. If they wanted to diagnose a patient as delusional, they wouldn't be trying with the antibiotics, which do work in combination over an extended duration. But it's only a knowledgeable practitioner that's going to be able to couple that treatment with the patient in an appropriate and responsible manner. If you get stuck in an online Morgellons group, it's likely you will be warned about seeing a doctor. You will hear horror stories, and you may even develop a severe hatred for the medical community. The CDC just got $1 billion to cure Lyme disease. That's a lot of money. And that's why they're coming out saying chronic Lyme disease is real. And pretty soon they're going to be saying, because the evidence at this point is overwhelming, that it's chronic and persistent infection in light of treatment. And we have the science that shows us which new combinations of antibiotics and other supplements in combination may work to address the chronic and late stage of this deadly infection. The patients are never going to experience that before they die if they don't get out of the online Morgellons group, get away from the misinformation and the group lore, and go see a doctor. You know, I tell people all the time, if you think you're dealing with Morgellons, go see a Lyme disease specialist. And more often than not, what people do instead is they try some kind of topical salve. They may pick up a nano bucket. They may try some kind of special bar of soap. But that's not going to get them to the point where they want to be. They may talk themselves into thinking that everything's working because more stuff is coming out of the skin. But that's not detoxing. That's the Lyme infection causing those artifacts to grow from the skin. And we want that to stop. We want the patient to get on responsible treatment, even if that's long-term antibiotics. Because the farmers in Tuskegee didn't have that luxury, though it was available at the time. Antibiotics are the only agent demonstrated to have any effect on these germs. A lot greater effect in combination is what we're finding in the actual patient outside of the test tube. But we got a long way to go, and that $1 billion is going to help us get there. We're working with the CDC towards developing a cure for Morgellons. I know that doesn't make me popular, but I do appreciate the support. The people who are holding out and continuing to spread the message, despite its ill popularity. I know people want to be in Morgellons groups. They want to feel that they can open up to anybody in them and share their experience and not be judged or ridiculed. And we don't want to judge or ridicule anybody. We just don't want people thinking that Morgellons is a fungal infection when the research has shown us that it's not, because people can get stuck in a loop of taking agents for fungus even though none may actually be there. If a patient has Morgellons, fungus is the last thing that would be causing that condition. But you wouldn't know that if all your information came from other people in online Morgellons groups, where oftentimes discussion about Lyme disease is prohibited. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I founded the nonprofit. That's why I'm trying to organize so we can register with the IRS. And that's why we want to develop tools for physicians so Morgellons patients don't ever have to experience this kind of medical neglect ever again. And we can get there. And if you haven't been able to tell by now, I'm definitely dedicated to this. I have a job. I play sports on my time off. But I'm not in here making videos about video games. I really should. It would be more profitable and popular. But I'm not here for profits. I never have been here for profits. I've been here for one thing: the truth about Morgellons.